dash of Dave, he brings the cheer. Crafty wonders year to year. Scissors, glue, and ribbons dear. Handmade holidays appear. Old-time charm with modern...
Hi everyone, it's Dash of Dave here again, back for another crafty video. So today, it being the start of December, well, 'tis for me. I don't know when this video is going out. I think this is like the second week of December this is going out. But I thought I'd make some Christmas decorations. So I always like to make some paper decorations. I usually do it every year. I usually put something on my channel. And today we're going to make one of these, which is a bit of a take on the previous ball that I made, which was just the folded pieces like this. So they sit like that. This is just a little bit of a next stage to it, and I'm going to show you how to make this, and we will just have a bit of a chat while we do it. So what you're going to need is you're going to need some circles. Now I used my circle punch. I used my giant circle punch, well, as giant as I have. So this one, which is a 2.5 inch circle punch, and all I did was I just chopped up a book. And it's actually a Charles Dickens Christmas Tales, I think it's called. It's a very old book, so it's got all the Christmassy ones in it. So I don't know what page this is from, but this is what we're going to use. So let me tell you what you need to do. So in order to make a ball like this, you're going to need approximately 24 circles. Okay, so to do that, you just need to, all I did was I layered it up, and I think this cut through, I managed to get it to cut through 6 pages, but they're very thin pages. I'm just using book paper. You could use coloured paper, you could use some digitals, you could use some coffee dyed paper, you could use whatever your heart desires. I would steer clear of using cardboard. Cardboard doesn't really work. It needs to be paper. And I'd also steer clear of, although it's nice, I'd steer clear of foiled paper, and that's simply because it has a layer of paper and a layer of foil, and those two tend to separate, and what you're relying on is it pulling against itself and not peeling away. Okay, so there's a bit of tension in it. There's always a bit of tension in everything I do. So once you've got your 24 circles, let's just count these out. So I've got a couple that I've already folded, because this is what you're going to need to do, is fold them. So we've got 4 there. Right, so let's do 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So that'll give us, oh no, that's counted those as well. 21, 22, 23, 24. Right. Like I say, it doesn't have to be bob on exactly. And I'm just going to show you what we need to do. So first of all, what we need to do is we need to fold them all in half, okay? As in half as you can get. You know, it's much better if you can get them as close to being in half. It doesn't have to be like fractions of a millimetre perfect. I like to do it so that all my text is a similar way, okay? But if you're not worried about it, you can do it, you know, fold it so that it's the text is going this way, or diagonally, or upside down, or I was going to say back to front, but it'd be very hard to get the book to go back to front. Top to bottom, that's the word I meant, Dave. So we're just going to go through and fold them. Now you could fold a few together. Okay, I'm just going to tell you about the folding a few together. If you're going to fold a few together, you'll find that you can't always, you know, if you've decided an orientation, you can't always get that orientation perfect. And when you fold them together, they don't always make a decent enough crease. So the one in the middle tends to crease nicely, and then the other ones will need a further creasing. So I tend to find that folding them individually actually works better. You don't really save a huge amount of time anyway, and also it's part and parcel of the therapy. It's all about the Christmas therapy. This is just a nice little escape from all of that madness that will consume you over the next few weeks if you are a Christmas celebrant. But if you don't celebrate Christmas, then you'll be going, I don't know what all the fuss is about. So the other thing you can do with these is, if you don't, so what we're going to do is we'll turn them into a ball and we'll kind of fold them round to themselves and glue them down. Otherwise, you could just put them into, you could make them out of white paper, you could turn it into a snowman, or you could put it in a card so that it opens in the middle. I'll show you what I mean by that when we've made it. So I'm just going to go through and fold all of these, and then once we've got them folded, I'll show you what we need to do. So it's really easy to make. There's a little bit of a learning curve to do, but it's only a small learning curve, and I promise you, once you've learnt it, you will be able to make them again and again and again and again. So I love paper decorations. I think they give me that air of nostalgia that I need. So they remind me of, you know, the charm of yesteryear. So now we've got all of them folded. Just make sure they're all nicely folded. That's fine. So what we need to do is we'll start with one. You'll need some glue. Just bear with me, I need to blow my nose. Apologies for that. So now what you need to do is, so you're going to lay it down in a half round. You're going to take another one and glue it to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to glue a little bit across the very back of the thing. You don't have to put a lot on. And then we're going to glue a line down almost to the edge. If you go right to the edge, what you'll find is when you put the next layer on, that we're just going to lie down in the same place. Yeah, you'll find that the glue squeezes out and then glues the other pages together that you don't want. Okay, so you just need to take your time about this. So it's just a little bit of glue down the spine and one through the middle. Okay, and that's, like I say, it's going to be really easy to do once you've got the knack. So this is your learning curve bit, because we can go a bit heavy-handed on glue occasionally. So I certainly know that I can. You don't want to go right to the edge, like I say, because it'll just squeeze right out. So you're just going to stop like a fraction of an inch from the edge, or like a millimeter from the edge. Okay, and then we're just going to keep layering until you've used all 24. Okay, so, and then once we've done the all 24, there's another step. So I will continue to make these, and then I'll join you again when I've done that. Okay, so I'll see you back here in a flash. Well, a flash for you, it won't be a flash for you. If it starts to get, sorry, I just thought I'd come back and just say, if it starts to get a little bit too much to manage because they keep doing this, okay, what you can do is just pop those underneath something and start again with another one, and just start building these, and then connect the two together, and I will come back to you when I have done that. So we're just going to do exactly the same as we were doing before, just joining these together and layering them, and we're going to just build another pile similar sort of size to the one we've got, and always doing down the spine and through the middle. Okay, so once I've done that, I will come back to you and we will regroup and discuss. So I'll see you in a mo. Okay, so now that we've done that, we've got two piles, and we're just going to glue these two piles together in the same way that we did the individuals. So just a bit across the back and a bit across the middle and almost to the end, but not quite. And then just pop this on top of there, and then just make sure that they kind of sit together properly. Just pinching all of that in. Now making sure that we've got nice glued in parts. So now once we've done that, okay, now what we've got is we've just got this, which is just a circle, and we can't doesn't really do anything. Okay, and we want it to look like this. So what we're going to do is, now what we're going to do is for every open bit that we have, so that's the folded over. So what we've got is we've got the two circles glued together with a single line, which is these two pages are glued together, and then these ones we're going to glue with two lines. So you're going to do one at the top and one at the bottom, and we're going to glue it down, and then you're going to open it up, and the next leaf that opens up, so it can be a bit fiddly now, is just across the top and the bottom, and you don't have to do the spine because the spine is already held together with the crease. I just want to open it up and keep doing that until you've done all of them, and then we'll come back together. Okay, so now we've done that, I'm just going to pop my glue away for a few minutes. So just going to mention that when you're gluing it, you don't have to be really accurate. So when you're doing a top and bottom on the second one, so the one where you go across the middle doesn't have to be bob on in the middle, and just as when you're doing the top and bottom, they don't have to be accurate. What I like about these is, although you can buy these and they are machine perfect, what I like about these is it has that charm of that it isn't perfect, and if you're looking for perfection, you're in the wrong game. So so I've just had that under a brick for a while just to be able to hold it down. You could just, you know, clamp it with a couple of pegs or whatever, just to make sure it completely bonds before you do anything. So now what you've got is you've got this very compact pancake, and then what we're going to do is we're going to open it up. Okay, so you just need to be quite delicate about this. So you're going to grab one end of it, and remember mine's made out of book page, so mine's going to be quite delicate. So, and then once you start opening it up, you will start to see. So what I meant by putting it in a card is you could have, I don't have a card to hand, but I can certainly fashion something. I'm sure I could. There we go, we've got a piece of card here. So if you had a card, you could put this inside a card, and then when you open it up, it opens out like this. You could have that as a bauble. You could have a double height card with a smaller one on the top, and you could turn it into a snowman. You could turn it into whatever you wanted to, whatever your heart's desires. But we're turning this into an ornament. So you can either leave it so that you can collapse them again. So that every year you collapse it down. And if you're going to do that, you're going to need something like either a magnet, this side, holding the two pieces together, or a Velcro dot. In my case, I'm just going to make sure that I pack them gently and not worry about it. Now, like I say, this is fiddly. It will want to spring back to where it used to be, because you're just trying to be really delicate with it, because you don't want to tear it. There you go. See, look, done it again. Because you don't want to tear it, but equally, it just, like, you know, it's going to resist you. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bring it right round, get all the leaves, and then we're going to glue them so that they glue down the middle part here. So the last piece is down the middle. Okay. So for this piece, except for it's not going to come out, there we go. For this piece, I would suggest you go a bit thicker. You're not really going to notice this one. And that's simply because it's holding the whole weight of this together. So when you come to gluing this, what you're going to need is you're going to need either a very thin finger, which, you know, I don't think many people have a very thin finger, or you're going to need something to be able to press the paper together. So like a pokey tool. I'm just using a what are these called? Spatula, spreader, something. They're called a something. That's definitely what they're called, Dave. They're definitely called a something. So thanks for coming, Dave. So yeah, so you just want to make sure that you completely just weld that. Make sure the glue is completely stuck. The same with before you start turning it into a ball. You want to make sure that it's completely stuck. So that's why I like to put it under a weighty thing, wait for a few minutes until the glue is completely dry. You know, if there's any that you've missed, just go back and do it. The ones that you've missed are likely to be the ones that need a double, a top and a bottom stick. And the reason for that is you won't have missed the ones sticking them together, otherwise they wouldn't have stuck together. So we're just going to leave it like that for a few seconds. There we go, and there we go. We have our ball, and it's not uniform, but it's pretty, and that's all that we care about. So the one thing that I do like to do, just to give it that you know, little bit more vintage feel to it, is I do like to give it a brush over with a colour. Okay, and so you could do this beforehand, but I do like the way it picks it up when you do it afterwards. Now you do need to be quite gentle about this, because again it's paper and it'll just tear, so you just want to take your time over this, but just putting a little bit of colour on the edges just gives it that retro feel, just gives it that feeling of it's been around a while, it's picked up a little bit of dirt, well, you know, well, it's been serving its purpose of providing joy to everyone. And you could, like I say, you could do it in anything. You could do alternate colour paper. You could probably dye your paper first. So you could use, like, you know, the aubergine, not aubergine dyeing. No, not aubergine. What's it called? The other thing, avocado dyeing. You could do avocado dyed paper, or you could use coloured paper, or you could use book pages. You could do whatever you like to give it your unique flair. But I'm telling you now, this is just something that you'll just love doing, and you'll want to make more and more and more. And if you're anything like me, you'll want to make more and more and more, to the detriment of everything else in your house, because nobody's getting fed, nobody's, you know, the house is a mess. Well, my house is a mess anyway. It's just my default. It's not a mess anyway. It's just I've got a carefully curated collection of dust. So, you know, people would be jealous of my dust. It's ephemera. So it's literally ephemera. It's stuff that other people would have got rid of. So, but I am not other people. So be careful, like I say, and you can make them in different sizes, and that's the problem. That's the thing you need to be careful about, is that you'll just get addicted and you want to do it in every size possible. So that's it with a bit of ink on it, and I think you'll agree that does just give it a little bit more charm to it. You could, of course, go over the edges, just brushing gently. If you use a little bit of glue and you just go over the edges, make sure that you do that whilst it's open like this. Otherwise, if it's closed and you do put glue on the edges, you won't get it open again. But if you're going to go over a little bit with like some glue, I would brush the glue on with you know, a sponge or something, and then just roll it in some glitter. So you could have glittered edges, or you could put some mica on it, or, you know, whatever you want to do to make it look beautiful. Now what I like to do is I like to finish it off with a something. So you to string it, you can either put a piece of string right through the middle. The problem with putting the string right through the middle is sometimes it bunches out this top bit, but if you're not worried about that, that's fine. The other thing to do is just to poke some string into the top. So I'll get some string here, and I always like to put something on the top of it. So one thing I will say is you can also just cover it in a little bit of if I could get my words out, I would tell you, but I can't. A little bit of essential oil. You could either use essential oil, or you could use some cloves on it. So I've got some cloves here that I'm going to decorate this one with. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to pinch the ends of this together and roll it. So the reason I don't like to put a knot in it is because it forces the whole thing out of shape a little bit. So, but if you want to do that, then you do that. That's up to you. So I'd love to know where my that's there. So I'd just like to just push this in with a bit of push this in with my pokey tool. Just a little bit in there, a bit more glue in there. And then what I'll do, just to secure that a little bit more, is I'll put something on the top. So I'll glue something to it. So on this one, I'm going to put some cloves on it. I'm not going to make it wear clothes, not clothes, cloves. So I'm just going to push a few cloves into it at the top. Just got some hot glue just off to the side here, just to give it a better chance of sticking if it used some hot glue. And then with the cloves in it, it will just make it smell delicious. Well, it is for me. I found out recently that lots of people don't like cloves, so if you don't like cloves, then maybe don't put these on, because it's not going to smell delicious for you. So just a few cloves on the top, and there you go. You've got your bauble. Okay, this one I did with so I actually used some file folder for this, so I used some of my green file folder. And if you just want to make some holly leaves, they're really easy to do. If you want them to look rustic, they're really easy to do. If you want them to look perfect, they're not so easy to do. Sorry, I've got the glue strands all over me. So here we go, let's try. So I just cut up first. So I use on the fold, I cut up, and then I turn it to the left, and then a sharp turn to the right, and then a sharp turn to the left, and then a sharp turn to the right, and then a sharp turn to the left, and each time I'm going a little bit shallower, and then up to a point, and then we've got a very naive little holly leaf that you can put on things. In fact, I might even put some holly leaves just on there. In fact, I'll get another one, I'll put another holly leaf on it, and then that's my contribution. So like I say, you can make lots of different shapes as well. So if you've got different shape punches, then absolutely give it a go. If you've got some ovals, try using ovals for it. Try using some pear-shaped. You don't want it to go pear-shaped, but try using pear-shaped bunches. I'm just going to glue those two together. Glue and pinch them actually, because they won't stick if I don't pinch them. And then I'm just going to hot glue that on. I might put it on there actually. And just a bit of hot glue on here on the tip of this. Bit of hot glue, and just stick that to the very tip of the. Now, obviously, if you're putting these on, you're probably not going to be able to do it so that it goes flat again, because they'll just fall off. But there you go. So you've got a nice little, and it smells delicious. It smells of cloves. But if you don't like cloves, then just cover it in a bit of essential oil. But I tell you now, you'll want to make those, because they are really easy to do. You'll make them year after year, and then you'll think, oh, I'm glad I watched Dasher Dave. I should really have given him a thumbs up. Hint, hint. Just saying. You know. Anyway, yes. So if you did like it, please do give it a thumbs up. It really does help me. I know you think it's like, oh, well, you know, it's fine. I've watched it. It's great. That's all that I need to do. But giving me a thumbs up is the equivalent of applauding if you go to the theatre. So don't just walk out having watched the performance. You know, show your appreciation. It really does help me. It helps share the word on YouTube, and it helps me just feel, you know, like, you know, I'm doing something right. I don't know. Maybe I am. I don't know. Anyway, shut up, Dave. Get on with it. All right. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget, I love you all, without exception. until you give me a reason not to. So don't give me a reason not to. And enjoy the festive season. Take some time out to make some nice baubles. And, well, I call them baubles. They baubles in the UK. I know they're ornaments, aren't they, in America? Anyway, go and make some nice decorations. Decorations is universal, I think. All right, then. Take care, folks. Love you all. See you soon. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Big hugs. And that was that sounded more like a demented moose. But anyway, thanks very much, folks. I'll see you all soon. Bye.